Can you take us back to those early days in Maryborough?
Everything's back early then, Kevin. Maryborough was where I was born. Went to high school. Maryborough, Granville first, primary school. We lived on that side of the river, the Granville suburb. Then to high school, Maryborough Boys High, because boys were on one side of the road and the girls were on the other side of the road. But be that as it may, we got around that. High school was there till some guys walked into the school room and said, look, we got positions are vacant here for plumbers, for boilermakers, for apprenticeships, and as you didn't apply, they just came to you, because it wasn't that long after the end of Second World War, so there was a very big shortage of skilled apprentices to start apprenticeships, and I took the offer to go and work in the railway, Queensland Railways.
Yeah, that's right. Was sport a big part of your life at school?
Yeah, it was included, like swimming was, I was too light for any contact sports, and that's paid dividends now, because I've still got original issue of hips and knees and shoulders, and they mightn't work as good, but they're still original issue. We built it up around swimming for whatever reason. No pool was heated, they were cold, but I guess it was just the thrill of getting out of school and going some other place, which was across the river to the Maryborough bars, city bars, and it got you out of school for nearly half a day, because there was no buses. You rode your push bikes there, in column, led by a teacher, and by the time they rounded you up to come back home or come back to school, the day was nearly over. So swimming became the preferred sport, only in summer.
Yeah, you got golden times. And when did you first manage to come down to the Sunshine Coast? Can you remember that first trip down here?
I'd left school, obviously, by then quite a while, a couple of years, I suppose, and I was part of a Maryborough Amateur Swimming Club team of 4. We come down to the Blue Pacific Pool at Nambour. It was a part of a coaching clinic by one of our coaches in Maryborough called Arthur Cusack, and he joined up with Howie. He was one of the best coaches at the time, and we had a couple of good swimmers, one of them named David Tyler, or David Thiel, an Olympic gold medal backstroker in Melbourne 56 and Rome in 1960. He was one of the 4, I was one. Another guy named Barry Tudman, and another guy named John Donahue. And we represented freestyle, breaststroke, backstroke and butterfly. So we did a small coaching thing at the pool in Nambour, and it sort of materialised on from there, and made some good friends with the locals, and then I got invited to have a swim in the surf race. Surf race was at Alex. Beautiful day, clear water, light offshore breeze, had a swim in this ocean. I thought, oh, this is not too bad, and went home and convinced my mother that it was safe to be in a surf club.
Your first introduction to surf lifesaving as such?
It wasn't surf lifesaving as such. I didn't know much about it. I mean, the surf clubs were here, Ruchi, Alex and Mooloolaba. But this wasn't involved. It was just a mates thing with the guys from Mumbai, Nambour, Palmwoods, down to the beach, have a swim. Of course, it wasn't crowded, and it's one of those things that if you get introduced in a good environment, it grows on you. So pretty hard to shake it off. It's like a good habit, I suppose.
And then back to Maryborough, and then working on the railways.
The Maryborough, worked in the railway, stayed there for quite a while.
So when you first got your driver's licence, what was the first car that you were driving, Hayden?
The first car that I co-owned with my mother, it was a green, British Racing green Morris Minor 1000cc overhead valve, and that was classic. And believe it or not, and that is my first board after I'd taken delivery. This is taken at our home in Granville and Maryborough. As you can see, I'm quite proud of it. I did take it up into the house and was allowed to be in the lounge.
Incredible. You know, Gordon Woods shaped that board for you.
Gordon Woods, stickers on there.
Yep.
The lettering over here of my first, after I'd first been introduced to this type of board through Arthur Parkin, a foundation member of Mooloolaba, and at 1956, Torquay. Yes. And
in Torquay,
Torquay in Victoria, yeah. It was the Olympic Games demonstration surf carnival plus Australian competition.
Wow.
And I was in the Queensland team as a swimmer, and Arthur said, look, I've got a surf craft you should have a look at.
Yeah,
and one little ride, that was it.
That was it.
You could do with this what you couldn't do with the other boards that just straight in and straight out. Here was a board you could turn, go across the wave, it stayed up in the wave. You can turn it back, and yeah, the control was phenomenal. Yeah. If you looked at it in today's thing, it'd be like trying to drive a Mack truck with flat tyres or something. Yeah. But in those days, it was that impressive.
Yeah, must be an amazing period. Did most people have their names on the boards? Like
it was one of those. When the racing boards, they had names on, they had nicknames on. Yeah, that was part of it. Trademark or whatever, I don't know why, but you did it because others did it, so it was like a bit of a herd mentality where you follow the herd, and it's the done thing.
You've still got that original letter, as you mentioned earlier, about from Gordon Woods when you first bought that. Sent you that surfboard.
I have.
So what was that board made out of, Hayden?
That's a hollow ply board with a series of glued on stringers to get the rail shape instead of it being a square rail, so you'd get the round rails, the same as the boards that were bought from Hawaii and California were balsa, fiberglass covered, so they had that shaped in. We didn't have the balsa. Gordon Woods, who took up the challenge straight away because he had been making racing boards for surf clubs. He's also a boat builder by trade, so he was a great wooden craftsman, yeah. And after that, there's the order I sent to him. It was in 26th of May 1957, and he's thanking me for inquiring about, and the prices are there. So that goes with that, and
arguably one of the first types of surf craft like that, surfboards like that in Australia? Or in Queensland, I should say.
Pretty much. They brought with them the two teams, Californian and Hawaiian, the balsa boards, as mainly as a demonstration type thing, which because they were just evolving in California anyway, and so getting introduced to it in that period put us in sort of in tune with them, but nobody was making them. So when guys like Gordon Woods, Barry Bennett, Bill Wallace, a few of the local hardboard clique became apparent, or we got wind of it, and straight away commenced the version of it, which was the hollow ply, and which did work. It was still and then of course once the balsa got imported, and it switched to balsa, and then the new high-tech evolution was the polyurethane foam. But that was the start.
So you used to put this board on the Morris Minor. How were the roads coming down from Maryborough down to the Sunshine Coast back in those days?
Well, they were, although if it was sealed, it was great. And it was mostly sealed between Maryborough and here. It was the Bruce Highway. And there was very little, well, there was no B doubles for a start. There may have been trucks. And they pretty much followed the surface of the ground. There wasn't any cuttings and shortcuts and bypasses, and 100 would have been 60-mile-an-hour zones. So it was about 3.5 hour
Did you travel by yourself?
No, there'd be a couple of other guys from up our way that joined clubs down here. That got involved with surf lifesaving. A couple in Mooloolaba and one or two in Alex. But so we formed a bit of an entourage that some would drive down in one car. One other guy had a V-dub and we'd pile in there or hitchhike.
Where would you stay?
Oh, at the surf club.
Of course.
If you remember, that was one of the big advantages of surf club then, was they had a dormitory, they had a kitchen, and you could actually have a weekend at the coast, fed, place to sleep for $1.
So good.
It was and it was expensive if it was 10 shillings. That was a big stay. So yeah.
And then Sunday you'd pack up and you'd again.
Yeah, we didn't have the board then, but I mean, once the board became part of the baggage, it was stayed in the clubhouse.
Yes.
That was one of the advantages of being a member and a surfer, so you had a place to store it.
It was safe.
It was safe. It was locked inside. That was another reason to have your name on it. If somebody else took it out for a surf, it was a dead giveaway that it wasn't his. So anyway.
Yeah. Just iconic, surfing history right there in the really early days. Was there anyone else on boards out at Alexandra Headland at that time?
No, not then. I had the first one, and but it was as soon as you'd give somebody a try, and they'd take it. You didn't want to lend it far. They had to stay on the beach, and there was no leg ropes.
Keep an eye on it.
Keep an eye on it. So have a couple, and they'd have a ride, and pretty much you'd get. They'd be ordering one.
Yeah.
My connection with Gordon Woods was once I got this and and got the whole thing got popular. Started getting inquiries. Guys, can you get one? So I became an agent. Gordon and I agreed on an arrangement, and I became his agent up here.
Yes.
Take orders, and they'd transit through me. And
that was at Alexandra Headland?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you first started being an agent for Gordon.
Well, yeah, pretty much straight away.
Yes.
Once we're getting a few inquiries, and then of course once it changed into foam, balsa it increased, and then got into foam, and it just tenfold. It changed. Everybody wanted a board.
And did you have you didn't have a shop then? You were just
no, just agent and
just freelancing.
Freelancing and. Getting the boards picked up, delivering, and just doing the transaction, and so pretty much the only people that were surfing on these boards belonged to a club, because most we're all in the same boat, limited transport, lot of hitchhiking, so no good hitchhiking with a board. You couldn't. Nobody had a hood rack. What's a hood rack? Yeah, so they came along later, but with the Morris Minor. I could lift the boot, take the back seat down, fold the left-hand passenger seat down, stick the board through the back, put a bit of padding around it, tie the boot lid down and drive along with all the windows open because the exhaust would be coming in the back between me and the dust. It wasn't something you'd do regular, but until hood racks came along, well, if you had to, move the board from one place to another. That was pretty primitive, but if you could put up with the carbon monoxide.
So you were with Faye then, and the early days of married then or not married?
No, not originally then. No, she came into the whole equation along the way. One of those things you couldn't ignore. Exactly. There was this grand lady. Well, then she wasn't. She was a teenage, pretty awesome looking girl. And
Miss Maryborough.
Yeah, she was, and was involved in a group that were raising money for the new Olympic swimming pool that they were building, replacing the Maryborough bars to a 55-yard pool, and they had this group of people that did concerts, and she was involved in that.
Fantastic.
And sort of so connection developed on from there, and
awesome.
60 years later, I'm still figuring it out, and
Yeah.
I'll get all this worked out shortly.
Yeah. No, amazing. So when did you move down here to live down here? You think?
The exact date, yeah, she'd probably know that better. But we drove down here with Valiant station wagon. By then I'd progressed up market to a Valiant station wagon. But everything I owned that was in the boot, and I had yeah. And this is a classic. That's Grant. He was I think 3-year-old, and Faye standing on the bench seat at National Park, and he's now a grandfather. But so that car played a big part in this whole development of surfing. That incidentally is me surfing with the crowd at Noosa, as you can see in those days.
No one there, Hayden?
No one there. It was scary.
Yeah. Just Faye and Grant
just
in the
Faye,
car
yeah,
watching
witness.
you and
Yeah.
no one around.
Bob Cooper took this photo, by the way.
Yeah.
The
He
camera
shot it through the
in the
shot it
back.
through the back of the car, didn't
Car was open. He was walking past, picked the camera up, had a camera then, took the photo, put it down. He went up to the boiling pot because I think the both of us were surfing National Park, the crowd of two.
he? Yeah.
And wasn't until you did the took the film to the somewhere to get developed, was your newsagent or chemist shops that sent them off to Kodak, and you got this back, and
Yes.
there's that photo.
Yeah, we can also.
So yeah, that was
So did you have your factory then?
here. Yeah, had
Had
a
your factory down at
the
Alex?
factory on here. One half of that was the first part, and then we expanded into the second half. There was 3 shops here. The other part was the Alex Hardware, but we had this here. Everything was manufactured in here,
Yeah.
and
It's a pretty big step to open a shop and.
well,
do that back
well,
in
the
the
first
day.
one was big. Well, it was pretty much unknown. There wasn't a handbook on how to get this. There was no
To run a
apprenticeship.
factory.
You had to learn by a bit of trial and error, which was
Hang.
hit and miss. But everybody was doing the same thing, I guess. And that was from that little part there.
Yeah.
This was more of a glassing area that Cooper was in.
So, how did Bob Cooper first come to Australia?
He came out on a surfing safari, I believe you'd call it, and was sort of feeling his way along, hearing about different places where he was going, where he could go for good waves, and he ended up here, and he had a look at there's a setup. He was a glasser. Was working for Reynolds Yater, Santa Barbara.
That's right, I remember saying.
And then,
Very good shape.
and he was a Point Cartwright, Headlands. He knew or heard about Noosa. He couldn't have heard much because it pretty much hadn't been discovered. And anyway, decided to stay and became known to me that he was glasser, and I needed. I'm doing everything: shaping, glassing, sanding,
so
glossing,
you're shaping, you're
Yeah.
glassing, you're
sanding, glossing,
one-man band.
surfing, and
Surfing.
back to the start again.
Yeah.
And
Be back tomorrow.
so anyway, he, which was a big step because that sort of freed me up. I could shape more boards, he could glass them and sand them, and
Yeah.
so we got
So
a-
Cooper was really the first employee.
one of the probably the first. He and he became because he could see then that this was going to get popular. It'll get crowded. In surfing, it's a takeoff point. It's different when you get a nice even break on the open beaches and the gutters, and everyone can spread out. But as the weather changes and you get herded towards a specific takeoff point, that's where the crowd starts. And then, of course, when it was good, when there was nobody around, every wave was your wave, or you might have shared it with one other person.
Fantastic.
And that was something easier to deal with. But one of the things he was adamant about at the time, and I didn't realise it, about publicity. No photos. He didn't want anyone because he'd seen what happened in California,
Yeah.
Malibu,
Yeah.
Rincon.
Let's keep this under the radar.
Yeah. And I didn't know where he was coming from. I'm thinking, what's wrong, Bob? No photos, no people, no one's coming. But way down the track, of course, he proved to be right.
Yeah, did.
Thereby hangs the story.
Bob Cooper's first. Algie Grudd.
Algie Grudd, he gravitated up here from Sydney, Algie Grudinskis, and all he could do was repairs.
Okay.
And he liked to do repairs for some unknown reason. He could have a cigarette and he'd grind away and there'd be glass dust around and have a talk about a job and the permanent itches.
Yeah. So there was Cooper, there was Algie Grudd.
Yeah.
Russell Hughes.
Russell Hughes came along later on.
A bit later on.
He was a bit more of a glosser, do the finishing, which was mainly how to get the resin on and get away from it and let it settle out to get a nice even gloss. Because the first resins weren't, they were one resin and you added things to it. It was like a resin with no wax. So that was a glassing resin. Then you put a percentage of wax in it and it became a filler resin. That's a sanding resin. And then you thinned it a bit more with styromonomer and a wax and add a finishing. But then they produced those three at factory quality later on, so it became an easier job, but it was all part of the process, and he was the glosser.
Yeah, right.
And they all happened to surf.
They all happened to surf. Yeah, well, there's a team order form in here in these wonderful books that we're lucky to have that Stuart Scott put together.
Absolutely.
And 1965 that order there.
Yeah. There's as you can see, Bob McTavish came into again, they all originated out of Sydney. As the boards developed more in Sydney, the surfing numbers became a little bigger there. So, and they were doing the safari. Let's get it, go north. We can, there's more out there. And
so that's how McTavish, Bob McTavish.
He knew of. I'm not sure if he knew of Algie or. I didn't know Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it gravitated together. He had a connection with Caloundra, with Laurie Kavanagh, an old Maribor boy, and they so it sort of just gravitated together through.
Sure.
There was no mobile phones. It became something
word
of mouth and turn up and.
Kevin Platt around then?
He came along later after he'd been, again, word of mouth, just Algie was Sydney, McTavish was up from there, Russell, and they communicate, and next thing he rings and he's got I could come up and work too, so another shaper.
Ken Adler?
Ken Adler came along later. Ken was working in, he was working in America for Hanson surfboards, learning how to shape. I met him in California in 1965 when I was a member of the Australian Surf Lifesaving Team. Surfing was really somewhere then. The clothes, the music, everything. You had to have a surfboard. You had to dress like you had to peroxide your hair. You had to go all the things.
Deal, wasn't it?
The real deal there. It was. You weren't a surfer. You weren't anything.
What sort of board shorts would you have had then back in the day? Canvas
by Caton. Nancy Caton made. They started to make board shorts as such. Birdwell.
Still going today.
Yeah, Reynolds, Yater. Yater's wife was making them. They had them, so they had. You had to have the whole.
The real deal.
You had
and you really had that stable of arguably some of the best craftsmen in Australian surfing history working with you, and then a little bit later, Bob Cooper mentions to you that George Greenow's flying in, and I think you went down the airport with Cooper to
pick
meet
him up.
George.
picked up. Yeah, George Greeno was a Santa Barbara surfer. He knew well off Cooper and Reynolds Yater, except Yater he was noted for his cleanliness in his factory and his articulate detail, everything. George was the opposite. Yeah, George had great ideas, great skills, but of course he wasn't clean enough in his work ethics for Cooper, so for Yater. But anyway, George was coming down to hook up with Cooper, so we go down to pick him up, and he got off the plane. There he was, a great hoodie, jeans, bare feet, carrying a duffel bag. Well, he had a little bit of camera gear there, not much to what he developed later on. But that's how George came down. He was a good friend. He came down and started working on the spoon.
So with all these great shapers and all these great people that were attracted to work at your factory, there were some iconic boards made, and they were all individual. You know, there was the Ken Adler signature model. There was the Kevin Platt. There was so much going on.
Yeah. Well, it all came from just surfing a board for a while, and then I wonder if I change the fin position. I wonder if I change a bit wider in the nose, a bit narrower in the tail. Just different shifting measurements around, and then you'd go out and surf it.
Yeah.
If it's longer, shorten. There's thicker, thinner, different rails, high, low.
And like I'm lucky to have a couple of Ken Adler chisel noses with the square nose. Like
that was a nose rider.
That was
specific, because there was a competition for how long you could spend on the nose, and it was on a time thing, and wasn't a cheetah one. You had to stand with 2 feet on the nose, and then it was a nose ride, not one with all the weight back and reach a foot forward.
Yep.
We called them cheetahs.
Yep.
They didn't count, but they looked all right for a while, I guess. But so all of the things that happened, they're all done through, come back after you've had a board for a while, and each one of them, they all surf differently.
Yes.
They all had a reasonable idea input, and so as you can see, a lot of the measurements, the width of the tail, a foot up, in the old feet and inches, they're all feet and inches, from the nose and just the width there, how much volume was there.
Yep.
So altered that around, and
and you're still fortunate enough to keep all these original order books. So people ordering all different types of boards, those original order books, people coming back. You traded boards in for those people?
Yeah, we traded. Well, there was always somebody that didn't, because the price was £46. It was a lot of money. I still think today I probably sold them too cheap, because in the collector's trading market they go for a very different price. Yeah. But anyway, that's the way it was. And they'd trade their old one in. In most cases, a lot of people start off with a second-hand board. Yep. And so I'd got them into surfing, and you could look at them and ask about and advise them. They had the range of trade-ins that this would be better for you than that one. And sometimes you'd get a child come in with a parent, and the child knows what the child wants, and the parent's telling the child what they want, what they're going to get. So there was always a little discussion there, and my attitude was, why not let him have what he wants, or she. Yes. There wasn't many girls surfing then, because the boards were pretty heavy.
Yes.
And it was a little bit of an exercise to get them from the car to the beach to the water, and then get them back out, because once the surfing fun finished, was who's going to carry the board up, because that nobody. But it did belong to somebody to carry it. And,
the logos on your surfboards, the first logo is quite iconic. Now that's it there, Hayden. So you designed that logo yourself?
I designed that, the first one. Just, I don't know where, I haven't been accredited with any art skills, didn't go to any art courses, but that sort of grew there, and it's still today, we can still produce it. And,
yes.
So
the first logo, and then to the famous diamond logos.
There's a change in it, slightly changed.
Some were yellow, some were orange, some were green.
And it wasn't until sometime late. Well, then we had the sectionised one where Cooper came up with a bit of an input in this, where he figured he could cut around and he could rearrange it on the board a bit here and a bit there, and do wonders under the glass with it. And then it went to
and the story behind this iconic logo there. Hayden?
Well, that was when Ken Adler came out. He had his girlfriend with him, Candy Calhoun, who was the world champion. I'm not sure whether it was on boogie boards. Well, they weren't boogie boards then. She had a bodyboard, twin fin, that she could make sing the way she could get across the wave. And in those days, because the crowd wasn't that big, she could get a go. You know, she could have a wave. Whereas
her
today,
mother was quite a famous surfer too. She surfed in Hawaii.
Yep, and her sister.
And Candy had a sister as well.
Yeah, and but anyway, she came and she was here working. Well, I had a place for her in the shop, out front. Yeah. And then I got her to design a new sticker, and that's what she came up with. Yeah. And so I.
And was she living upstairs above the factory then?
She was up one side, where Faye and I and 3 kids on one side in a 2-bedroom flat. So it can be done. Get on and still survive today. And she was on the other side, her and Ken. Everybody worked underneath. So that was part of, she came up with that.
Fantastic. It must have been a hype of activity, the factory in those days.
Oh, yeah. Everything.
People coming and going, and orders.
Yeah, surfing. It didn't matter. You were open. We were never shut. We were open or gone surfing. Yeah. So we never had closed. And of course, holidays. They were madness. Everybody wanted something by Christmas, and Christmas was going to be the end of the world. No, everybody wanted a board. They all had their holidays. Yeah. When I say all, the crowds were livable. You could, it didn't matter where you went. You could get a good surf in, uncrowded, have some form of order going on, unwritten, but saying, well, I've been out here longest, or you might wait and you take it, and you had the luxury of giving waves away. Yeah. Now you got to get in there and kick and scream and scratch and bite and go back and kick your calf because you didn't have a good time.
And there's a certain visitor that came and saw you, who is our king.
King of today, yeah.
Can you give us an overview of that?
He was, how it eventuated was, I had a visit from a police officer who I knew, just making general inquiries about spare boards and that yak, and I thought, probably a couple of his mates coming on holidays or whatever, or he might want to go in and have a surf. And I made the inquiry and just let it go, one day. Anyway, sure enough, one day did arrive. A little fleet of cars pulled up outside the factory. Doors all flew open. Out jumped all the heavies. I was inside shaping, and I've got the mask on and covered in foam dust, and came to the door and got introduced. And I said, this is the person we want, like to go and have a surf. And it was Prince Charles. At the time, he was currently serving in the Royal Navy, which was, I think, required of all the Sutherlings of all the royal family. So he was doing time as, I'm not sure what rank, but so down tools, got the air, blew the dust off, all piled into the car, off over to the spit, and we went surfing. Came back again the next day, range time, back over, so about 2 days recreational, and Grant came across that day, the second day, and I just reminded him, I don't know even why, just in a passing shot, I guess. I just remember you've been surfing with someone who'll probably be king of England one day.
One day, yeah.
Sure enough, there you are.
Yeah.
Grant's nearly 60.
Yeah.
Grandfather was
Yeah,
three.
famous
And
story. I remember Grant mentioning that
Yeah.
someone was asking where Dad was, where Hayden was,
Yeah.
and someone said, I think he's gone surfing with Prince Charles.
yeah, well, that was Faye. She'd come home from doing her shopping and whatever, and the guys around, and I'm not there, and she's moving around and go, where is he? She said, oh, gone surfing with Prince Charles. And she's going, yeah, righto. Yeah. And after the doubting, and no, he's gone. It wasn't until I come back. You go, you won't believe who I've been surfing with. But she, then she accepted it was true and it did happen, and thereby hangs the story.
Yeah. No,
So it was, and it was all tied in with his earlier schooling when he'd been sent down. I think it was the Geelong Grammar for some time away from the British things, and Timber Top. I think there was a outdoor orientation type, good knockabout school. Bit of time in the bush, and
he sent you a letter, didn't they?
he
Acknowledge you?
there was a photo that was sent to him, which was of that day. Somebody, I just forget who took it. Anyway, he sent it back and he's autographed it, and it's I've got that in my possession, and it's just so and so thought you should have it, Charles, and so it's become a little bit more of a iconic thing, I guess you'd say, or it's not. It's the time, relation, and all that was great, and I can say he was very easy to talk to, like any of our guys. Laugh, some jokes on himself, and in general, I think, in my opinion, and I have no doubt that he is going to be a very good king.
Well said. Hayden, these translucent tints that you used on your surfboards, how did you come to first get colour on your surfboards like that?
Well, mostly the colour on boards was opaque. It was like a paste that white gel coats, and then the colours became available, and once you put the colour in, you couldn't see through it. It'd cover the whole thing. So some of the boards were full colour, others were bands, but then the translucent tints became available, which sent the resin tinted, but you still see through it. But you had to be really clean in the glassing. That's where Cooper's skills come in, to get the overlaps and clean. Whereas with the solid colours, they could be a little bit more ragged. Not that they were any weaker or anything, but you didn't have to be as articulate about how you got everything nice and sharp and get the lap lines right. So the translucents came in, and they were part of the development. They didn't go far.
Quite late, sort of.
After
67.
Yeah, sometime after the after the opaque ones. Well, they were really gel coats that were come from the boating industry.
Yes.
And mixed them with some of the surfboard resin, and ended up with a gel coat that added weight to the board. And
because you saw it all change. You were making the early boards were your D fins.
Yeah, that was a development of fins, and they changed from the first fins. Probably here's one here on the top of the DeSoto. Then somebody had one of the guys.
To a dork fin.
Well, this what happened. Interesting with this is, someone said, let's turn one around. Back, again, the development of surfboards was trial and error and feel, and that's good, or that was a stupid idea. But so they got turned around, and the straight, what was the trailing edge, the straight edge, became the leading edge, and a little bit tilted back, and it was like a D, and that was no flex in those; they were rigid as.
Yes.
So
because some of those early dork fins, some were nylon.
Yeah, well, that was a poly carbonate or something that Yater brought down, and they had already moulded those, and it was the normal fin that was with the back carved out and a little bit more hydrodynamic.
Yep.
So that
Yeah.
It was part of the lead.
Ken Adler had his red signature pivot fin,
Yeah.
which was quite iconic.
Well, that went with the board. That was if you had the Ken Adler model,
Yeah.
the stringer layout, the thing, that all went part. All you did was the dimensions, how long, how wide, how thick, rails, but pretty much the stringer layout all remained the same, which was the signature model. And likewise with Kevin Platt's,
Yes.
his was more of a different shape board,
Yep.
single
And a
stringer,
different fin.
and he had the one band across it that went.
Yes.
That was it, but it had his signature on, and that was if you're following.
Yeah. And then fins would change even more when George Greenough arrived on the scene with his famous Velo spoon.
Well, his first one was a solid balsa knee board,
Wow.
which I don't know if we've got a shot here. Oh, that's close to it. There, that
Yes.
one is pretty close to a balsa, like a small balsa board.
So it was
with
the small balsa board
yeah.
was scooped out like a spoon?
No, it was regular. So what he did,
Belly board.
just an ordinary deck, he took a sander to it and ground the glass out, peeled it off, spooned it a bit, the balsa away, then reglassed that, then went and surfed that. And that led him on to the spoon. So that's how that developed, was trial and error.
Trial and error.
Go and surf it for a while.
Yep.
I'll change it. Go back into the factory.
And his fins, he was working with fins. He was, I think there's a story of him catching tuna out the front of Alex Beach there and walking into your house with the tuna.
No, he had it. It was over the. It didn't get out of the house with that. George always smelt like a bait box, only because he loves fishing, and when he saw we were catching mackerel off skis, and he saw how he could do this with a ski and on a lure, and then he decided to do that till he's caught a decent shark. He's pulled this thing up onto the deck of the ski, and he's lapping. There was a bit of confrontation between him and the whole, but he got ashore with it. He used to look at some of their fins of, for instance, sharks, different fins and different, not that you could derive much from the flexibility, they were dead, but just to lay the profile led on to, I think he based some of his ideas on what he'd learnt from what was created in the sea.
Yeah, he definitely changed fin design.
He did.
So
the flexibility.
So quickly, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he
And
again.
it happened here. A lot
Yeah,
of
it happened
here.
right here, and some of the places, as you can and here, there's some great shots of him surfing Noosa and surfing Cartwright, because he could get right in the pocket, as steep and as late, and take off, and he could get the benefit of flexing the board, flexing the flex. He bend sometimes he get the outside of the spoon and really riff it around in the turn, and that's how he got a lot of his ideas on flex and experiment to see if it worked or didn't work, and the plan shapes, area change, and
There's some of those fins there, which iconically are used on a lot of the boards that are being manufactured today, Hayden.
yeah, probably not as long, but yeah, that's all went through that design development program and trial and rejection.
Was there many spoons done out of the Hayden factory?
There was quite a few. We sent quite a few to Hawaii, of all places, because there's not much room. They can't see what happened at Noosa as it got a little more and more surfers. The spoon needs a late takeoff and they've got to have that power of the wave to really. Otherwise, they just bog down. There's not the surface area, so they got harder to mix this technology with that technology, different paces, different tracks they wanted to go, and they pretty much got squeezed out.
Yeah. And Terry McClarty was involved in a lot of this work with,
Yeah,
with George in the early days,
yeah.
and then Terry
carried on with it.
Terry carried on and
Because
made
when
them
George
himself.
went home, well, he didn't go home. He went south. We did go home for a short period, I believe. Then he went. He still lives down south, which we got a contact with him. I've got to ring him too.
Yeah, it was great to chat to him. Wasn't
Yeah, and you've got George is a head full of ideas. He's and they're pretty much useful ideas in relation to surf gear and its performance and what you can achieve with it. And not only surfboard, with a surf rescue craft, jet type. Yeah, and he unfortunately some of the things just they're great ideas, great concepts, but just haven't been picked up and taken.
Yeah. He's very, very passionate about that.
Yeah,
right.
that surf rescue craft.
Yeah. So seen a lot of changes in surfboard design. So we had all these classic longboards being made, Hayden, and then surfboard templates were changing, shapes were changing, you were cutting boards down, and then you had people like Robert Keneally working with you. It was transitional board period. It was amazing.
Well, Robert Keneally was a junior then. And when they keep in mind, while all this innovation was happening, all this pioneering surfing, there was no competition. Everybody was surfing for fun. You know, it was just as pure fun. Knock yourself out, get sunburnt, get worn out 2 or 3 days. You couldn't even walk. You were so worn out from surfing as much as you can. Then it started to get a little bit more. People started to form a bit more formal about it and get competitions going. Yeah, well, that's judging who and what. So they had a pretty raw set of judgment figures. And Robert Keneally came in as a junior at one of the first ones. I think he won was at Coolangatta when they had an Australian board riding championship there. This then had a lot of people in who were not members of surf clubs. They were just free surfers, came and go. They didn't have to be. But if you wanted to leave your board at the surf club, you had to be. But in this case, it started to develop as its own identity as surfing, whereas the other was surf lifesaving. So, and it's still there today. So Keneally came early as a junior, and he lived at Bondi, North Bondi, Campbell Parade. And he was keen. We talked a lot about shapes, and he had his ideas. So we released the Robert Keneally rocket ships.
That's it.
Which was his input, what he wanted, and he could make it talk. So he would then open a shop at Bondi and traded, and we used to make them here, ship them down there. As far as everyone down there thought they were made by Keneally somewhere down there,
yes,
in a secret factory. But anyway, as I said, it was the exchange of ideas. He'd sell the board, and he'd be able to talk the talk because he was a really good board surfer, right through his whole era. So the rocket ship, and that another development came, and they were getting down in size then, as far as overall side, a little bit harder to paddle.
Well, they were so different, you know. The rocket ship, spaceship had the really wide tail. It had the V through it. It had the concave.
Well, that was another thing. The wide tail and the V, they brought the board length down, so they gave it a bit more fullness in the plan shape. Instead of having a small tail, had a wide tail, and then a V in it that gave it a bit more release, and a bit of a concave on the deck that gave it a bit more release. So.
And then he was doing pintails that would have a wave set fin box in it with the screws in it, and then within
jacking bolt. Yeah, we had that was one of the first changeable fins that had a
perspex, weren't they?
no, you could work it with a glass fin.
Right.
But what happened was you'd have a fin box, and it jammed the front up. The back had a little. And it could have been one of Weir's to turn up a little what we call a jacking bolt, and had a ball bearing in the back of the box and then you put the fin in, put this jack, and then wound it until it jacked against and locked it in.
That's it.
Sometimes they came out prematurely, but then another
Did it
time.
work?
Yeah, I did there.
Yeah.
Well, I started a whole lot of thinking, then why not, for a lot of reasons, change a fin, like you go out surfing, deeper fin. Have two fins, you really, double your surfing, double your fun. Two fins are better than one. And out you went surfing. So then it became apparent you could stack more on the top of the car.
Yes.
You could take the fins off.
Yes.
And all the different little equations kept coming in.
Yeah.
Transport, aeroplane, stick the fin board in.
A lot of people still had their old longboards, their Hayden longboard, but then they might want a shorter board, and we've seen some of those boards cut down over the years that people would do.
Yeah, that was a process of reusing for cost wise. The bigger blank we can, if we peel the glass off, which you could do if you're pretty careful about it, peel all the glass off, was a bit of a hard thing to reshape because the resin had gone into the foam cell.
Did you do many of them?
Not a lot. That just wasn't worth it. It was better off going straight to a new blank, getting it done in half the time, and a better job. So, but the cut down boards did come and go. They were part of the whole development.
Where did you used to get all your blanks from, Hayden?
Mine first I was getting from Barry Bennett,
Yep.
and then that was Dion. I got basically Bennett. He started pouring foam. When foam, balsa was the go at for a short period. And then because somebody had developed, I think it was Clark Foam, had developed this urethane foam, which is a byproduct of styrofoam, which was an insulation used in refrigeration, and actually was a development from the Second World War for the high-flying bombers to try and keep the crew from freezing at high altitude, but no weight. Wow. And that's so all these things that have developed on, but the foam I got, or the blanks, were mainly from Bennett.
Yeah. And there was a Clark Foam factory
he came,
here in Richard Hall?
Yeah, he came along later because he wanted to make, one of the guys that worked for Clark Foam was a Kiwi, and he wanted to set up Clark Foam down here, and we had a place for him to do it. So Clark Foam and the blanks, we used to start making them, or he did here, so it became available. Clark Foam.
And you'd get all your blanks there?
Straight from him. And then that's when the stringerless boards came in too. And we had the other two things. You could get them stringerless, with light and smaller, or if you wanted a wide, short one, we'd glue a strip of, say, 2-inch wide foam in, and it expanded. So you could make a more of a wider board. All these experiments were all, there was no Barnes Wallace tank for the skip bomb where he could go into a facility and test it before he went. This was just make that, go out and try it. The same with the 3 fins.
Yes.
McTavish one day went to Noosa with 3 fins on the board. 1 tall centre one, 2 small outer fins, surfing a tea tree. For whatever reason, didn't agree with it. Came in, got a rock, knocked the 2 little ones off, went back surfing. So that experiment had an ungraceful ending.
Yeah. Well, you've seen it all change over the years, Hayden, from the early days of surfboard manufacturing right through the different styles of boards and surf life-saving events, and it's changed so much, the evolution of surfing. Yeah,
the boards have the development of the boards, particularly the what they're made of now, and they've become more efficient than what the earlier ones were. But the one thing, the waves are still the same. They come and go with the weather, and the points and the good surf spots are still as they were for I don't know how long. But the crowds have got a bit bigger, but it's a matter of that was probably going to, and I'd have to admit that I've contributed to it by making boards. If I didn't like that, I shouldn't have made boards. I should have just kept one for myself and told nobody, and tried to get away with it.
Aren't you lucky that you had the passion to do it and create it? And the great thing that your iconic surfboard brand is still out the water, still out in the water today.
Yeah, being part of it was. Now you look at it, yeah, it didn't actually appreciate or realise what was, you couldn't see into the future. So it was just a great thing at the time. And who are you going to tell about it? There was no one that had been surfing or understood. So you're trying to tell them about something that what you've experienced and they haven't. And as it got on, of course, people that had the same experience and got the same joy out of it, you could talk. It might have only been one or two, and then that expanded. But originally, in the development years, it was all about a good time. Yeah. Go surfing for happy. Yeah. Come away, sunburnt, surfed out, that much salt water, your mouth was dry, and but you talked about the enjoyment. And what even one of the other guys had seen, oh, that was a great wave you got. It compliment one another. Yeah. What for? I don't know, but it was you had it up here, and that was part of I suppose the whole evolution of it.
Yeah, the passion for riding old boards is just increasing year after year. The quality of the product that you made and other manufacturers made. The great thing is that those boards are. They're in those order books there as being made back in the day, 64, 65, 66, 67-ish. Well, and they're being ridden today, and you get the opportunity of seeing those boards and seeing them still being ridden, which is a vital part of this history.
What's really good is that, they're back. It's like vintage cars. They'll always be a classic bit of engineering. They won't come up to speed of what the new current engineering is, but to experience driving that, and it's the same with the vintage boards, and the young guys surfing and girls surfing the equipment they've got today to get on this, and then make it work, and have to change their style, get to appreciate what they've got today, and where it came from, but being able to, like I can see when my last Range Rover when I sold it, just the
blue one.
Yeah, the blue one. Mm-hmm. The people that was a vintage. I guess you could call it that. But going back to drive that technology compared to now, it's still fun to drive it. It's the same with the boards. They learn to surf it differently, look at the wave differently. And I have to compliment them because they've taken their skills and made it work on completely foreign bit of equipment that, and then they get to appreciate it and like it.
So well said. Hayden Kenny, you're a vital part of surfing history. Thanks so much.
One of the small cogs in the whole scheme of things, and I'm glad to have been there and experienced what I have done. I can still brag about it. The waves were bigger, of course, and they get bigger as I get older. But no, it's I think part of Australia is our coastline. Surfing has grown into it, and it's still the coast. The ocean belongs to a lot of different animals. Some above the water, some below, and it's a matter of getting along with both sides and appreciating that they've all got a right to be there, but pay respect.